Thanks for tuning in to your daily dose of quick real estate updates, local housing trends, and market data, plus tips, tools, and strategies to help you buy, rent, or invest with confidence. You're now getting ready with Reality Reports, powered by the innovation team, Cami and Rex. Now go grab your favorite morning beverage, whether that's coffee or tea, and let's enjoy this episode.
Welcome to the Deep Dive. Okay, so today we're jumping straight into the Weekly Roundup for West Melbourne. This one's dated May 16th, 2025.
Right.
Think of this as your inside look at what's really shaping the city right now. We've got, well, pretty much everything. Updates from elected officials, employee achievements, wellness stuff, police activities.
Recreation, public works. It's a packed list.
Exactly. Development insights, even job openings. So our mission today is, not just to list what happened, but to kind of explore what it all means for West Melbourne's direction.
Yeah, it's amazing how much you can glean from just one weekly update. It really gives you a feel for the city's priorities, its pulse.
Absolutely. Okay, let's dive in with the elected officials first. It looks like all of them attended the Palm Bay Chamber's annual mayor's breakfast.
Yeah, that full attendance, that feels pretty significant, doesn't it?
It does. What does that signal to you?
Well, I think it suggests West Melbourne's leadership isn't just focused inward. They're actively engaging with the wider region. They recognize the city's success is tied to the whole Brevard County area.
Makes sense. And Mayor Andre Young, she highlighted a couple of key things.
The low tax rate and the new reverse osmosis water plant that's coming.
Right, the water plant. That's the system for getting cleaner, more reliable drinking water, basically.
Exactly. And highlighting those two together, that's quite powerful.
How so?
Well, the low tax rate, that's obviously attractive for residents, for businesses. It sort of shows they're careful with money.
Right. Fiscal responsibility.
Yeah. And then investing in major infrastructure like a modern water plant, that shows commitment to, long-term well-being, sustainability. It's about today's affordability and tomorrow's quality of life.
Okay, good point. Next up, some recognition for 3 city directors. They graduated from Leadership Brevard. It was Finance Director Candace Blake, Recreation Director Aaron Murphy, and HR Director Jennifer Curran.
Ah, yes, the best class ever, class of 2025, it says here.
Right. But this program, Leadership Brevard, it sounds like it's more than just, getting a certificate.
Oh, definitely. It's really designed to build up leadership skills, create connections across different sectors in the county, and hopefully drive some real collaborative impact.
So the city investing in its own key people here.
Exactly. It shows they're nurturing leadership from within.
And they also did these community acceleration projects, CTAPs. Director Blake worked with the Early Learning Coalition, Director Murphy with the South Brevard Sharing Center, and Director Curran with Space Coast Habitat for Humanity. That seems, well, like it goes beyond their day jobs.
It does, and that's what's interesting. They're applying their leadership skills to broader community needs, education, social support, housing. These kinds of partnerships can be, really valuable for tackling those bigger regional challenges.
Yeah, sounds like a pretty transformative service-focused program. Okay, let's shift to employee well-being. They had their annual employee wellness event on May 14th. What's the significance of events like this?
Well, they're a very tangible way for the city as an employer to say, we value your health. It's not just about work output. It shows a commitment to a supportive environment.
But it sounds like it was quite comprehensive. Lots of local health and wellness businesses involved.
Yeah, everything from fitness and spas to acupuncture and nutrition counseling. It connects staff directly with local resources.
Good for the employees. Good for local businesses, too, I suppose.
Absolutely. It strengthens those community ties around health.
They also had this 9 to Thrive training. It was coordinated by HR in the Lifetime Counseling Center, aimed at staff who serve the public, focused on managing workplace stress. Why is that focus so important for that group specifically?
Well, think about it. Public service roles can be really demanding, sometimes emotionally draining. So giving them tools to manage stress isn't just good for them personally. It directly impacts the quality of service they give to you, the residents. Emotionally stable staff, as the Roundup notes, are generally more productive, better communicators, more resilient.
And probably stick around longer, better retention.
Exactly. It creates a more positive, effective workplace, which benefits everyone.
Okay, let's turn to the police department. Their focus is leadership through innovation. Sounds proactive.
It does. Modern policing really needs that innovative edge, constantly looking for better ways to prevent crime, ensure safety, manage traffic, all of it.
And they did a community event, Touch a Truck, at Pineapple Cove Classical Academy. Kindergartners got to see the police vehicle, learn about the job.
Yeah, those kinds of interactions are, well, they're just invaluable.
How so?
Building trust early on, it humanizes the officers, makes law enforcement more approachable for kids. It can really shape positive perceptions long term.
Right. The Roundup also mentioned National Police Week, flying flags at half staff, the Memorial in D.C., and it specifically noted community support for the West Melbourne PD.
That community support piece is crucial. Recognizing the sacrifices is important, but that active partnership between the police and the community, that's fundamental for effective policing. You need that trust.
Okay, looking at specific incidents. There was a road rage situation involving a firearm. A high-risk stop.
Yeah, sounds intense.
Thankfully, no injuries reported, and an arrest was made.
Right. Situations like that really underscore the dangers officers can face. A successful resolution without injury speaks volumes about their training.
Then there was this scofflaw apprehended during a patrol.
Yeah.
Turns out, suspended license 15 times, plus an active warrant for carjacking, and methamphetamines found. Started as a traffic stop.
And that just highlights how proactive patrols work, doesn't it? A seemingly minor stop can uncover much more serious issues. It shows how different police functions connect to keep things safer.
And finally, a report of gunshots near a private school. Police responded quickly, used a drone, K-9 units, found it was target practice on nearby private property. They informed the school. That communication seems key there.
Absolutely vital. Being transparent, especially when schools and safety concerns are involved, helps manage anxiety and maintain public trust. Quick, responsible communication is key.
Okay, shifting gears again. Recreation department. They emphasize how parks and rec are more than just, fun and games.
Oh, they absolutely are. Quality parks and programs boost the whole city's quality of life. It's about physical health, yes, but also stress reduction, community connection, access to nature. It's essential.
Their first Friday Night Live event at the park was a success, apparently. Music, food, family vibe. Next one's June 13th.
Yeah, those community events are great. They
Yeah.
build that sense of belonging, bring different people together for something positive, strengthens the social fabric.
And they also had an inclusive skating event coming up. For all ages, all abilities, focusing on basic skills. Why is that inclusivity aspect so important in recreation?
Because it means everyone gets a chance to participate, to benefit from activity and social time. It doesn't matter what your ability or background is. It fosters a community that truly includes all its residents.
Makes sense. All right, public works. These are often the unsung heroes, right? Keeping the water running, roads maintained.
Definitely. Infrastructure is the backbone. Their consistent work on water, wastewater, stormwater, roads, parks. It's fundamental to daily life and the city's long-term health.
So what were they up to? Pothole repairs, obviously needed after rain. Fixed a washout on Sheridan Road using something called geomesh.
Yeah, geomesh helps stabilize the soil, prevents further erosion. It's a more robust repair.
Okay. And improvements at the Sunflower House, new accessible parking.
Right. Fixing immediate problems like potholes is crucial, but also ensuring public facilities are up to date and accessible shows that ongoing commitment to the community's assets.
Water and sewer teams were also incredibly busy. Looks like 167 water work orders completed.
Yeah.
Plus hydrant servicing, valve exercises, leak repairs. One quick response highlighted for a worker named Tommy Stevens. And they used directional drilling for some pipe work.
Directional drilling is less disruptive. Instead of digging a big trench, they can often bore underground. The sheer volume of work orders really shows the constant upkeep required for these systems.
They're also doing maintenance on clarifiers at the wastewater plant and dealing with an emergency repair at a lift station.
Standard but essential maintenance. Keeping the wastewater system functioning properly is critical for public health and the environment.
And prepping for hurricane season by maintaining generators. That's just smart planning in Florida.
Absolutely essential. Resilience is key. Being ready for emergencies provides real peace of mind for the community.
Interestingly, they introduced this concept, Vision Zero. The goal is, zero traffic deaths and serious injuries.
Exactly. It's ambitious, but it's a fundamental shift in thinking. It treats traffic collisions not as unavoidable accidents, but as preventable system failures. It means looking at road design, speed limits, enforcement, education, emergency response, everything through the lens of safety above all else. It's a real commitment to protecting lives.
Wow, okay. Moving to community development. West Melbourne's described as fast-growing, lots of permits, lots of inspections finalized.
Yeah, those numbers definitely paint a picture of a dynamic place. Significant construction and development happening.
And they list some major projects.
Yeah.
A couple of big apartment complexes, Avasa, Epoch, West Melbourne, a hotel, business center, urgent care, Chick-fil-A, Panda Express.
Right. That mix tells you a lot about the kind of growth, more housing, more hospitality, commercial services.
Yeah.
It gives you a real snapshot of how the city's landscape and economy are changing.
Okay, nearly there. The Join Our Team section, they quote Martin Luther King Jr. about public service and talk about wanting to be the Space Coast's premier location. Currently hiring for a few roles: payroll, police officer trainees, experienced officers, public service aide. How does advertising jobs fit into that premier location idea?
Well, it reinforces West Melbourne as a place with opportunities, a place to build a career, contribute to a thriving community. Actively recruiting shows ambition, and linking it to public service adds that layer of purpose, you know? Serving the community is part of achieving that premier status.
Makes sense. And finally, the calendar of meetings and contact info. Standard, but important for transparency.
Absolutely. Keeps residents informed, makes it easier for them to engage with their local government. Crucial stuff.
So, yeah, looking back at this whole roundup, it really does cover a lot of ground. Leadership, staff well-being, safety, fun stuff like recreation, the essential infrastructure, growth.
It really paints a picture of a city firing on multiple cylinders, doesn't it?
It does. And you see the connections, like you said earlier. Leadership initiatives impacting departments, which impacts residents, which influences growth. It's all interwoven.
It's a very holistic view you get from just 1 week's summary. Really quite insightful.
Okay, so here's a final thought for you, the listener, to chew on. We've talked about all these things, the wellness initiatives, Vision Zero's ambition, all the development. How do you think these pieces fit together in West Melbourne's big picture goal of becoming the Space Coast's premier location? And maybe what else besides what's in this roundup might be really crucial for them to actually achieve that vision? Something to think about.
Well, that wraps up today's episode of Reality Reports, where real estate meets real life. For more updates, tools, and insights that will help you buy, rent, or invest with confidence, be sure to follow, subscribe, stay connected, stay informed, and stay ready. Until next time.